And we welcome in to the show, this segment, Tyler Ivins. Tyler, good to ride with you for the next hour and a half. How are you?
That was clever.
Yeah, he's funny, man. Better looking host this week, too, Josh. Appreciate you having us on.
Oh, wow.
John Tyler
Catching
said that.
strays.
Yeah.
It says here on the script, make sure you give me a compliment before we welcome you in. I'm just doing what
Was
the
that a
script
write-in?
says.
That was a write-in.
Exactly what happens.
Tyler, you stepped in with some updated information.
Yeah.
So we discussed in the first segment, big win over Alabama.
Yes.
What can that mean, though? We have an update here in the last 20 minutes or so on projections for the NCAA tournament. What do you have?
I'm just looking right now, Joey Brackets. It's Joe Lenardi over at ESPN has updated his updated bracketology ahead of Sunday's tip-off. The new number one seeds in this order. Auburn is your 1, Duke is your 2, Houston 3, Tennessee's 4. The 4th number 1 overall seed, just ahead of Alabama, the 5th overall seed, Florida, the 6th overall seed. When you talk about going to the last 4 in, these are teams 65 through 68 in order: Georgia, Arkansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma. Sum it all up, 13 of the 16 SEC schools as of now are in the NCAA tournament, with Tennessee's win over Alabama essentially flip-flopping the 4 seed to the 5 seed. That just shows you how big yesterday's win at Food City Center was for the Volunteers.
And the thought going in from Joe was Tennessee or Alabama could be a number 1 seed, not both of those teams. So it seemed one that Tennessee needed to get. It seemed unrealistic if one's going in, if Tennessee loses at home to Alabama, probably not going to jump up to a number 1 seed. Now, games to go, we're going to get to those, but Vince, what do you think there with number 1 opportunity for Tennessee? Joe Lenardi saying Vols are up there.
I think it's really good. What's left for Tennessee, as you mentioned, I think is in their favor. And, Alabama, who is one of those teams you're competing with, has a brutal final 2 games with Florida and Auburn. So they're in a good position. But the SEC tournament, it's just so unknown what your matchup's going to be like, the high level of competition you're going to get. The double bye is big. To me, that is the biggest thing, more so than the 1 seed positioning, because that can change. Putting yourself in a better position there, because now they're a full game ahead of Missouri. They're actually 2 games up on Missouri because they have the tiebreaker there. So they had some help from Vandy yesterday. So that's, to me, helps you be able to make a deeper run into the SEC tournament, which, of course, will help you your resume for a 1 seed. So one step at a time, I think the double bye positioning is even more important.
On the deeper run in the SEC tournament, I don't want a deeper run in the SEC tournament. Like
Here, here.
I am okay with them losing on Saturday and getting that day of rest on Sunday in preparation for the NCAA tournament. Like we're too lean to be able to run it and play on Sunday. I've been there where now you got the NCAA tournament party maybe in Nashville. It's a later night. Like I'm okay with us losing on Saturday. I never want to lose a game on purpose, but I'm okay with losing on Saturday with the longer mindset in mind of getting further in the NCAA tournament.
I'm with you. We've talked about this before, even Vince, when you haven't been on. Look, am I saying that they need to go out there and get shellacked they did last year at Mississippi State on Friday? No, that was a bad look. There were a lot of people who were really upset with how Tennessee performed in Nashville until they saw the extended run that got them to the Elite Eight. We talked about the reward over rest. I think rest is the reward for Tennessee basketball, and I go back to the week off they had before Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Give them as much time off their feet, heads on pillows as much as possible.
Well, it's not even so much, it is having your feet off the floor because you are lean, but even talking with like Rod Clark, it's so much mentality-wise and like giving yourself a mental rest because it is so intense. It is a gauntlet that you'll have to go through, especially when you do want a longer NCAA tournament run. So, but I also, Mark, isn't this game like all about momentum? Like, don't you maybe want to have a couple of wins here, or have you done enough in the regular season to give you that momentum?
I think if you can't get momentum playing against a 16 seed or a 15 seed, that should give enough momentum. And two, like I've always said, coming from the Chicagoland area, we're in a football community.
Yeah.
This is normal in the NFL, right? Like and I get it. It's the physicality is different, but once you've already got your seating locked up and you've won your conference championship in the NFL, they take guys out. They rest guys.
Saquon Barkley said at the end.
In
Andy Reid said
preparation for what everybody remembers. Did you win the Super Bowl? And to me, March Madness is your coaching resume, your player is did you win? Did you get to a Final Four? And if that is the expectation, that is the purpose. Again, I'm okay. Like, all right, again, I'm just okay with them not playing.
Well, that
until
was
Sunday.
Rick Barnes' New Year's resolution to get to the Final Four. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll forego the SEC.
Last thing on
tournament.
this, Josh. I think the double bye sets you up to where you could do the scenario that Mark talked about. You start on Friday, maybe win an impressive game, helps your resume, and then if you lose on Saturday, it doesn't really dock you. They're setting up the brackets in advance anyway for the most part. So I think you can still get a great resume booster with the first game and then being in that Saturday game for a potential 1 seed without just being one and done, which is a different look, and then it can hurt your seeding.
We'll close the segment with this, and then we're going to have a little more on the SEC. But Tennessee has a turnaround, road trip to Ole Miss, and then home game against South Carolina. From the mindset standpoint, you have this huge win, this huge moment that you're celebrating. Then you have to turn around, Mark, and there's an opportunity here for a number 1 seed. Tennessee's there right now. What's the mindset, the conversation they might have in that locker room leading up to the game about how they need to finish the regular season?
You heard a lot of the guys talk about how the fans really helped them through those tough moments of that game yesterday. Now the shoe's going to be on their foot. So I think these guys have the mentality of when their back's up against the wall, when fans are getting loud, they rally. The nice part about it is being as good as we are, you're not going to go into a dead environment. It's going to be live on Ole Miss. Ole Miss is playing for seeding. I mean, it's a big game for Ole Miss to get that quad 1 win. So the mindset, I think, will be there. But the first couple minutes will tell the story of can we stay close enough to then let us dictate and our physicality dictate on Ole Miss.
We will have a scouting report on Ole Miss for you as well. When we come back, we will talk about where Tennessee is right now, the chance to have that double bye in the SEC tournament when we come back.